Hey everyone, I just wanted to connect with you today because I had a really cool exercise kind of come to me um, through some of the dream work that I've been doing. For whatever reason, maybe the energy is going on, but I have just been dreaming very vividly lately, and it's interesting because my dreams have just been all over the place and really kind of making me look at some of the frustrations that are kind of maybe deep seated within me that I'm not really looking at, because they're really coming up in my dreams, and I'm not even really conscious of these things during my waking day because overall I feel really happy, and so the last few days I've just been kind of feeling like this heaviness, and I've been talking to quite a few people around me, and a lot of people are experiencing the same thing. And so I wrote down one of my dreams last night, and there's a really great long form interpretation that Tom Brown taught me. And so when you have a dream or an event, there's a really great exercise where you can just subconsciously, the first 5 adjectives that come into your mind when you think about that dream or that synchronistic event that happens in the waking world. Um, it's the first 5 adjectives that come into your mind. You write it down on a piece of paper. It could be frustration, worry, angst, resolve, and just write them down one by one. Then you take a step back and you look at the overall picture of those words. What word comes up into your conscious mind as the most important in that sequence? Write that as number 1. So even if I wrote down angst as my 3rd adjective, it could bring it up to that top first choice as the most important. And then subsequently do the same thing for each other word. So when you look at that and you have your 5 words in front of you now in a chronological order, look at that and write it out in a sentence. See if it triggers anything. See if it actually says a sentence straight out and in its own clarity. You can find a lot of insight in that. And so one of the things that I was working with this morning was around the message that I got around my dream was that it was like I had this dream that I was in like a fast food restaurant, and I placed an order, and they told me that it was going to be like an hour to 2 hour wait for my food. And I got really frustrated, and I was with a good friend of mine, and I was just like, let me see your manager, like, and I'm totally not like this in real life, which is like really funny. So so I started to think like, okay, and I did my long form interpretation, and I was like, all right, well, I feel like maybe I'm not getting what I want fast enough, or I'm frustrated that I'm not getting what I want. And so that led me to this whole exercise of like, okay, well, we can all relate to that to some degree, like about anything where, we are popularized around the philosophy of law of attraction and being able to magnetize things to ourselves. We're all energetic beings, and we are the mirror of the environment around us, and we're conscious creators. We're co-creators. So so we're consciously aware of these things and what we can bring into our lives, and so we have a lot of that. So I'm just thinking to myself, okay, well, what is the solution here? And what is the solution to not getting what I want fast enough? Or what can I do to soothe myself or to make me feel better? And so I said, okay, so I took another piece of paper and I wrote down, what is the solution? And I just started writing, like, what I can do to either bring me closer to that wanting, or to bring me closer to being genuine and grateful and appreciative for what I have, and how I can tap into that essence more, how I can tap into my own happiness more. And what does that look like? So I ended up writing down like 20 things. And I was like, oh my God, like these things can really make me happy. And just being in the freedom of looking at all the positive aspects of maybe not even having that thing. So it was just a really great exercise that just kind of came up for me as I was working on my dreams. And I wanted to share that with you because I know we're all going through the same thing. And there's just so much energy and vibrancy that's happening right now, as everything is just awakening. It's springtime. We're here on the East Coast. We're hearing so many more sounds and birds. And I heard the peepers last night, and they just kind of like sung me to sleep last night. And so I just want us to remember, like, even if things aren't necessarily coming together the way that we want them to, or the way that we want them to be fast enough, let's just remember to come into a place of presence and gratitude, and look at all the beautiful nature around us, and really connect to that and hone into that. And do that exercise and start writing down your dreams if they're becoming vivid to you. And even if they're not, just the thought and intention of making that conscious relationship with your dreams starts to awaken the subconscious. And then you can start to actually dream more if you're putting that intention out. So that's all for now, and have a beautiful, amazing, beautiful start to this new year, this new springtime and new growth, and I wish you well.